Hey, it's Mike Nelson with Operation Agent Thrive. Gonna give you some nuggets today, and today is gonna be so you think you really want to be a real estate agent. Hey, but before we begin, go ahead and click the subscribe button below, the notification bell. Let us know if there's anything you want in the comments about topics to come in the future.
Put your hands together for one, the only, Mike Nelson.
So today is all about 10 reasons why not to get into real estate. You do not want to get into real estate if you have these 10 reasons. Number one, you can be your own boss. How many times have I heard that from new agents that get into the business? But I can be my own boss. My question is, are you physically fit? Are you mentally sound? Are you a peak performer in anything and everything you do? If the answer is no, how's that working for you being your own boss? Right? So you have to ask yourself those questions, because it sounds great to be your own boss, but when you only work 4-hour days, 5-hour days, you're not willing to work 10 or 12-hour days to get off and started, then you have to ask yourself, is it really good being your own boss? Number two, second reason that you should not get into real estate, because you like flexible hours. Ask any successful agent and ask how their flexible hours work for them. Yes, over time, if you do the smart business model, you will run into cases where you can get some leverage and you can hire those things out. But ask any successful agent exactly how the flexible hours works for them, and I promise you, they will say that is the biggest myth in real estate. The third thing that I hear people say why you should not get into real estate, but they believe it, is they can do it part-time. Oh, let me just do this as a full-time job over here and keep that because I need the money to be able to do sales over here. Don't get me wrong, some people have done that, but by and far, most have not ever had possible success as to, what others have done that full-time. So don't be misled that it's instant success as a part-timer. You're just not going to get the training that full-time people do. You're just not going to be able to put the lead generation hours in. I say if you're going to do this business, you need to treat it just like anything else, and it needs to be a full-time. I'm probably going to make some people mad with that. However, that's just my belief. If you're going to do anything, it needs to be full bore, full-time. The fourth thing is, I hear people say, is it doesn't cost very much. And to some degree, they're right. To run a business and deal with people's significant value assets and the limited amount of cost that it takes to get in, they call that kind of that low barrier of entry. It's like less than probably $2,000 to $3,000 in most states to get a license. Think about running a Burger King. You're out hundreds of thousands of dollars in franchise costs and things like that. So it has got a great opportunity. It's one of the best businesses that I've ever found in the limited amount you have to invest into it. However, I think that low barrier of entry also is why we have such a, I think it's 80% fell out in 5 years, right? That's a crazy number. And I think it's just because it doesn't cost much to get in. The fifth reason I'd say don't get in is because somebody thinks that they can walk in and make millions. You absolutely can. You absolutely can. There's a lot of people that do, but there's a lot of people that don't make it through those first 6 months either. So the question is, what are you willing to do? Have you done your homework? Do you know what it takes? Have you reached out to a mentor and not a recruiter, not somebody who's just gonna sugarcoat things? Have you actually talked to somebody to tell you exactly what it's gonna take to get to $1 million? Have people done it in their first year? Absolutely. Do I say that that's the 1%? Absolutely. So I think you have to talk with a mentor and get real with them and find out exactly what it takes. Somebody should be able to tell you how many contacts you need to make a day, how many appointments you need to set, how many contracts you need to sign, but most people don't think like that when they get into real estate. They get their license and they're like, woohoo, this is awesome, I'm so excited, and they don't really know what's ahead of them and what's in store for them. So check that out. The sixth reason you shouldn't get in is people are like, I know everybody, I'm local to this town, I grew up here. That's awesome. However, how many people trust you to do their real estate when you're a brand new agent? Okay, exactly, right? I would be curious to know exactly what your thoughts are around that. And my point is, I just don't see that people that just know a lot of people are naturally successful right off the bat. Certainly helps. It's easier than going to a brand new town where you know nobody. However, sometimes I've seen people that go into new towns that know nobody have had a better chance and actually done better because they knew that they had an uphill battle. I think sometimes the new ones that come in and say they know everybody don't maybe work as hard, don't grind as hard. So don't be fooled. There's a lot of real estate agents. I think there's like 1.4 million in the United States alone, something like that. So that's a crazy number, right? So you look into your city and I promise you there's competition everywhere with realtors. Your parents are gonna be like, oh, but I've used so-and-so for 25, 30 years, right? Your friends are gonna be like, oh, my sister just got her license, I'm gonna use her. Doesn't matter how many people you know, right? So that's a fallacy. The 7th reason that I've heard people say things is, I just love homes when I interview people and say, what do you want to do to get into real estate? What's your desire? I just love homes. Well, I promise you, when you take a buyer out and you've shown them 82 homes and you lost 14 offers, that's short-lived. You don't love homes anymore. So then the next thing I see is they're like, I'm a people person. I love people. Okay, awesome. I do too. I love homes, I love people. However, people are people, right? You're gonna make some great friends out of this business, no doubt about it. You're gonna find some people that you don't really care to do business with before. You're gonna find people who kind of use you and abuse you a little bit, right? So, the key here is it's okay to love people. However, if that's your primary reason for getting into real estate, you'll probably be short-lived because the amount of lead generation you have to do, the amount of people that you have to talk to, by the time you go to bed at night, you're probably pretty drained and you might not love the people anymore. The 9th reason that I hear people say is, oh, but you do really well, so I can do it too. Absolutely you can. However, don't compare my insides to, or your insides to my outsides, right? So, or my insides to your outsides, I don't know which way it goes. But the point is, like, I've been doing this for 9 years. I've had to grind to get to where we're at today, right? You can't just naturally, most people can't come in their first year and expect that. So they start comparing themselves to others that are successful. And they're like, but you do so good. Don't look at my first year. My first year was terrible. I think it took me 9 months to get my first deal. People don't see that, right? They look at the others' outsides and kind of compare that to their insides. And that's flat reality of it is, you have to get with mentors and really set a plan and get with coaches and find out what it takes. What's realistic in your first year? Right? There are some top 1% of 1%ers that absolutely kill it in their first year. And maybe that is you. However, I think you have to be realistic with yourself. And the 10th reason that I hear, you're gonna love this one, is people get in because they say, it's fun. Yeah, it is pretty fun. I mean, it is a fun job. It's grueling, it's grinding, so you've got to be willing to take the good with the bad, right? So the question is, how much grinding and grueling are you willing to do? This is not an instant reward business. Most buyers and sellers are 60 to 90 days out. It's a 60 to 90 day cycle in this business. And when you're a new agent, that's probably more like 3 to 9 months, right, before that happens, because you're spending so much time learning in the first month or two, and then you're lead generating for a month or two. Maybe you're picking up some buyers and sellers there, right? And then it's another 30 to 60 days to get them under contract and close. So it's a cycle. And so when people say, like, I want to get into it because it looks fun, I always ask more, well, what looks fun about it? Well, I like homes. I like people, right? Those are pretty surface level answers. I'm going to dig a lot deeper into that and really understand more about what that is, because as soon as one person yells at you on a cold call, is it fun? Do you love people anymore? Right? So you have to get over those hurdles, and you have to be able to mentally have a deeper why. So you just keep on going. So anyways, hope you found that value. That was 10 reasons today that I would say do not get into real estate. Do not get into real estate. So anyways, click my subscription button below, click the notifications bell, put any comments down below if you disagree with anything that I said. Feel free to interact on that, and we'll have you a video out next week. Thanks.